Feedback controls and feed forward controls. So let's first discuss the feedback. Now, budgetary systems effectively utilize the feed forward and the feedback control systems to ensure the efficient resource allocation and also to achieve organizational goals. The two candidates. But first of all, we have the feedback control, which involves comparing actual performance against predetermined standard. Involves comparing actual performance with predetermined standard or budget. Feed forward control involves comparing actual performance with a predetermined standard or budget. So after a budget is prepared, an employee embarks on normal operations. At some point, the actual performance has to be compared with the standard. If, for example, the company had budgeted to spend 1 million shillings on raw materials, there could be a comparison between that standard and what actually has been spent. And any deviation from the standard, are identified, analyzed, and corrective measures are taken to bring performance back on track, back to the standard, back to the budget. If there is any deviation, that's the essence of feedback control. So first we have the standard or the budget, then we have the actual performance. So we compare the two. When you compare the two, most likely you may have deviation. When you compare the actual and the standard, there could be deviations. So the deviations are analyzed and any corrective measures are taken so that the company is brought back to the standard, is brought back to the budgeted standards. Do you understand? And the key applications of the feedback candidates is what we call variance analysis, analysis of the variances, applications. How do you apply the feedback control? 1, variance analysis. That means comparing actual revenues and expenses to budgeted figures in order to identify variances. There is also performance reports. Performance reports. Regularly generating reports to highlight performance deviations and trends. Corrective action. So variance analysis is done, performance reports are generated, then based on the performance reports and the variance analysis, corrective action is also implemented. Implementing corrective measures to address issues identified through variance analysis. Post-audit reviews is also part and parcel of feedback control. Conducting post-audit reviews to evaluate the effectiveness of budgetary controls and also identify areas for improvement. Identify areas for improvement. So feedback control involves comparing actual performance with predetermined standards or budgets. And that can be done through variance analysis, where the deviations from the standards are analyzed, the performance reports are generated. Then based on this variance analysis and the performance reports, corrective action can be taken. We may also have post-audit reviews. So that is a feedback control system. Feedback control system. We may also have what we call the forward control. Feed forward control. This is feedback. It looks back. But we may have the feed forward. Feed forward control system. Now, feed forward control involves anticipating potential problems or opportunities and then taking proactive measures to address them. Anticipating involves anticipating potential problems or opportunities. So first of all, potential problems or likely problems or future problems and opportunities are first of all anticipated, and then the company takes proactive measures to address them. That is the problems and the opportunities. Feed forward. And feed forward candidates focuses on preventing deviations from budgeting rather than reacting to them after they occur. So the company tries to anticipate what are the likely what is the likelihood of deviations. Instead of waiting for the deviations to occur, then you analyze the deviations, then you take corrective action. This is being proactive. It involves or focuses on prevention. Feed forward focuses on preventing deviations. It focuses on preventing deviations from the budget. Okay? Anticipating potential problems rather than reacting to them. Feed forward. Applications. We may have things like trend analysis, analyzing trends. Trend analysis, that means identifying emerging trends and patterns in the business environment that may impact the budget. You analyze trends, look at what has happened in the past, then try and use trend analysis to find out or to anticipate what will happen in future, what will be the potential problem based on the history. Trend analysis. You may have scenario planning. Scenario planning means developing alternative scenarios to prepare for potential future events. Come up with scenarios, alternative scenarios in preparation for crises or future events. Contingency planning is another approach or application. Creating contingency plans to address unexpected events or crises. You understand? Plan B. You come up with the plan B. That's what we mean by contingency planning. Another application is through proactive monitoring. Proactive monitoring. Continuously monitoring key performance indicators in order to identify potential issues early on. So these are two techniques that can be used in budgetary control systems: feedback control and feed forward control. And these two candidates can be combined, because by effectively combining the feedback and the feed forward controls, organizations can achieve a more effective budgetary control system. So the organization should take an integrated approach to, because when that happens, then it will be enabled to effectively manage the budgetary or the budgets that are prepared within the organization. Any question? So we've done the applications of budgetary control systems apart from the activity, activity-based budgeting, which is constantly tested in exams. I deliberately skipped it so that we can allocate sufficient time to even do the calculations on ABB. It has been tested many times. There was a question in April 2023. I think there was another one in 2024, in 2021. So we will create time before Friday so that we can do the ABB, and that will be 7.1. So that's it for today's lesson, unless there is any question. Now, given that there is no question, we will call it a day. Let's meet in our next session. We will continue with the topic on budgetary controls. Bye-bye.